Welcome, sleepless and intellectually curious mind. As you settle in, feel the weight of the day begin to soften, like a book finally closing after a long chapter. Your thoughts may still be racing, looping through ideas, questions, and unfinished conversations. Those racing thoughts are not a flaw. They are a sign of a mind that cares, that notices, that keeps searching even in the dark. Tonight, there is nothing you have to figure out, nothing you have to solve. Philosophy is often seen as something that wakes us up, that stirs us, that pulls us into big questions. But tonight, philosophy is invited to do something gentler. Tonight, philosophy becomes a path toward rest, not away from it. You are allowed to hold big questions with a soft grip. You do not have to wrestle them to the ground. You can simply listen, and let each idea drift by, like clouds passing slowly across a quiet night sky. So as you lie there, feeling whatever you feel, let an intention form gently in the background. Tonight, big questions become gentle companions. They do not demand answers. They simply walk beside you, for a little while, as you drift towards sleep. You do not need to concentrate. You do not need to remember anything. You can let the words blur and soften at the edges. If your mind wanders, that is perfectly fine. If you miss whole sentences, whole ideas, that is more than fine. This isn't an exam. There are no grades, no expectations. You are here to rest in the presence of questions. To let thought do what it does, until it grows tired and quiet on its own. You can imagine every idea as a small pebble dropped into a still pool, the ripples fading slowly into calm. If it helps, feel the gentle weight of your body against the bed. Notice the slight pull of gravity, holding you here, keeping you safe. Feel the air entering and leaving, a soft rhythm that doesn't need your control. You don't need to understand anything fully tonight. You can let each thought wash over you and disappear into the background. Just for now, existing is enough. Now, let's begin to walk through some of philosophy's deepest questions, very slowly. Not to wake you up, but to give your restless mind something soft and steady to lean on. If sleep wants to arrive halfway through, or even in the next sentence, it is welcome to. Breathe in, gently. Breathe out, slowly. Let's begin. Why is there something rather than nothing? This is one of the oldest questions in philosophy, and no one has a final answer. You can imagine a vast, dark, empty space where nothing exists, no stars, no thoughts, no you. And yet, that is not the world you find yourself in. Instead, there is something. There are stars, there is a planet, there is a room, there is a bed, there is a mind listening to these words. Some thinkers say this question may be beyond human understanding. Others say the mystery itself is part of what makes existence feel so strange and beautiful. You don't need to solve it. You don't have to decide why there is something. You can simply notice the fact that there is something, and that this something includes you, breathing in the dark. You don't need to understand this fully, just let it wash over you. Let the mystery feel like a soft blanket instead of a puzzle. You are allowed to rest in the question, without reaching for an answer. Some philosophers, called existentialists, say we are condemned to be free. At first, that might sound intense, even heavy. They mean that there is no fixed script, no predetermined path written for your life. You are not handed a completed story at birth. Instead, each day you make small choices: what to say, where to go, how to treat yourself and others. Those choices slowly sketch the shape of who you are. For an overthinking mind, that kind of freedom can feel overwhelming. So many options, so many possibilities, so many ways things could go wrong. But tonight, your freedom can be something much simpler. Your freedom can be the quiet choice to rest. There is no rule that says you must keep analyzing, keep replaying, keep planning at 2 a.m. There is no philosopher demanding that you keep thinking until you break. Right now, your only project is to lie here, breathing. You are free, in this small, gentle moment, to let your mind step away from decisions. You don't have to decide what tomorrow will look like. You don't have to decide what your purpose is. You are allowed to simply be a tired human being, choosing to rest. You don't need to understand this fully. Just let the ideas sit beside you, quietly. Freedom, tonight, includes the freedom to let go. There is an old puzzle called the Ship of Theseus. Imagine a wooden ship, slowly repaired over time. One by one, each plank is replaced with a new one. Eventually, none of the original pieces remain. Now imagine someone has kept all the old planks and built a second ship from them. Which one is the real ship of Theseus, the fully repaired one, or the one made from the old parts? People argue both ways, and there is no single answer. The puzzle gently asks, what makes something the same over time? You can turn this question toward yourself. Your body has changed since you were a child. Your ideas, your habits, your memories have shifted, faded, grown. And yet, you still feel like you. Some quiet thread of continuity runs through every version of you that has ever existed. You don't have to name that thread. You don't have to define what self really is. Just notice that you have traveled through so many changes, and still, here you are, this present version of you, lying here, listening. Tonight, you do not have to settle the debate of identity. You can simply let it reassure you. If you have changed before and remained yourself, you can rest now and still be yourself tomorrow. You don't need to understand this fully, just let yourself drift with the thought. Change and continuity can coexist, the way a river keeps flowing and still has a name. Another thinker, Heraclitus, said, "You can never step in the same river twice." The water is always moving, always changing. By the time you step in again, new water has taken the place of the old. The river looks the same, but it is never exactly what it was. Life is like that. Your day was like that. Moment by moment, everything flowed past you: conversations, feelings, small decisions, passing thoughts. Some of those moments may have felt heavy or confusing. Some may have felt bright and fleeting. None of them stayed. Change is the only constant, Heraclitus said. The river keeps moving, whether you fight it or float. Tonight, you are allowed to float. Whatever happened today, whatever feels stuck in your mind, is already part of a river that cannot repeat itself. You don't need to revisit every scene. You don't have to step back into each moment and relive it. You can let the river carry today away, slowly and gently. You are not required to hold on to everything. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. As the river of time moves forward, you can simply lie back on the shore and watch it flow. You don't need to understand this fully. Just imagine that all of today's worries are leaves drifting downstream. You can watch them go, or you can close your eyes and let them pass without noticing. Another philosopher, Parmenides, took a very different view. He suggested that change is an illusion, and that only being is truly real. In his picture, all the apparent movement, all the coming and going, is a kind of surface appearance. Beneath it, there is a single, unchanging reality. You can imagine your life on the surface, events, emotions, flickers of thought, like waves on an ocean. Below the waves, the deep water is calm, still, and continuous. No matter what rose and fell today in your mind, underneath it all, something steady remained. Something that did not shatter when you were stressed, did not vanish when you were tired. You don't need to decide whether Parmenides was right in some technical, philosophical way. You can simply borrow the image. Beneath all the noise of today, there is a deep layer of being that has held you the entire time. That deep stillness is here right now, under every thought. As you breathe, you can imagine sinking gently into that depth. Not sinking in a scary way, but in a peaceful, supported way, as if held by warm, still water. You don't need to understand this fully. Just feel that, even when your thoughts are restless, some quiet part of you remains untouched. That quiet part can watch the thoughts come and go, and it does not have to move. The philosopher Descartes is famous for a simple line, "I think, therefore I am." He doubted everything he could, until he reached one thing he couldn't escape, the fact that he was doubting. If he could question, then there had to be a someone doing the questioning. So he concluded that his thinking proved his existence. For a busy mind, this can sound very familiar. Thought becomes proof that you are real, that you are here, that you are responsible. But tonight, you do not have to prove your existence. You do not need your thoughts to justify that you are allowed to be here, allowed to rest. You existed before your first conscious thought this morning. You will still exist as your thoughts slow down and fade into dreams. You are not required to keep thinking in order to be real. You have nothing to prove to philosophy, to the world, or to yourself right now. You don't need to understand this fully. Just let it gently loosen the link between thinking and being. You can let thinking pause, or wander, or fall asleep, while your being remains quietly present. Another thinker, Heidegger, described humans as being toward death. This doesn't mean constant doom. It means that knowing life will end gives each moment a special weight. Because time is limited, experiences matter more. Because there is an ending, the middle becomes meaningful. For some minds, especially at night, thoughts of death can become sharp and unsettling. They can cling to questions of how long, how much, what if, But there is another side to this awareness. Knowing life is finite can also be a permission slip to rest. You do not have to fill every waking moment with productivity or answers. You are not a machine built only for output. Rest becomes part of what gives your life shape. Pauses are not empty, they are what allow the music of your life to have rhythm. Right now, being toward death can simply mean being aware that your time is precious, and choosing to spend this small piece of it in kindness toward yourself. Not fighting your body's request for sleep. Not arguing with your need for calm. You don't need to understand this fully. Just let the idea that time is precious become a soft reason to care for yourself, here and now. Each gentle breath honors the limited, beautiful time you have. Sartre, another existentialist, said that existence precedes essence. In simple terms, you exist first, and only later do you shape who you are. You are not born with a fixed purpose stamped on your soul. You discover, choose, and create your sense of purpose as you live. For an overactive mind, this can sound like pressure. If nothing is given, then everything is up to you. But tonight, it can mean something much lighter. It can mean you are not behind. There is no strict schedule for discovering your essence. You don't need to know your grand purpose at 1 or 2 in the morning. You don't need to review every decision you've made today or this year. Who you are is being shaped slowly, over many days and nights, by countless small choices. Choosing to rest is one of those choices. You can let purpose be as simple as this, for now, to care for the being that has carried you through every day so far. To offer your tired body and mind a moment of peace. You don't need to understand this fully, just let the idea soften any urgency you feel. Your life's meaning is not decided in one sleepless night. Heidegger used another word, Dasein, which roughly means being there. It points to the way you are always in a world, in a situation, in a context. You are never just an abstract mind floating alone. You are always somewhere, in a place, in a moment, in a mood. Right now, your being there is this room, this bed, this quiet or almost quiet space. Right now, your world is dim light or darkness, a ceiling you may or may not be looking at, a blanket, a pillow. Sometimes, the mind travels far from this there. It runs ahead into tomorrow, or back into yesterday, or sideways into imaginary scenarios. But you are allowed to come back to this simple being there. To the feel of the fabric under your fingertips. To the temperature of the air on your skin. Your context, in this moment, can be peaceful and still, even if your thoughts haven't caught up yet. You don't need to chase your thoughts, you can just notice where your body actually is. You don't need to understand this fully, just let the phrase being there remind you, you are here, now. And here, now is a place where rest is allowed. Philosophers also wonder about consciousness itself. Some say it might be fundamental to reality, built into the universe at the deepest level. Others say it might emerge from complex physical processes in the brain, appearing when matter organizes in the right way. No one fully agrees on what consciousness is or how it arises. But whatever its ultimate nature, the simple fact remains, you are conscious right now. You have an inner world, a private space of thoughts, feelings, and sensations. That inner world can sometimes feel like a storm, but it is also something delicate and precious. Your consciousness has carried every memory, every insight, every moment of wonder you've ever had. It has also carried your pain, your confusion, your late-night overthinking. Tonight, it does not have to carry so much. Tonight, your consciousness deserves gentle care. You can imagine your mind as a room with the lights slowly dimming. The furniture stays, the structure stays, but everything becomes softer, quieter, easier to ignore. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, and beyond those limits, there is a simple, wordless kind of rest. You don't need to understand this fully. Just allow the idea that your awareness can soften, like eyes slowly closing at the end of a long day. You have just drifted through questions of existence and being. Mysteries of why there is something, of who you are as you change, of what it means to be free, of what it means simply to be here. You didn't have to solve any of it. You didn't have to make the questions smaller. Instead, you let them become soft shapes in the dark. Companions, not opponents. As you continue to listen, or begin to drift away, remember, you are not here to win against your thoughts. You are here to slowly befriend them, until they grow quiet enough for sleep to enter. For now, let your breath continue its slow rhythm. Let your body sink a little deeper into whatever is holding it. You do not need answers before you close your eyes. Let your mind settle into this next gentle drift, carrying forward from questions of existence into the quiet landscape of self and identity. Breathe in softly, and out even more slowly. Whatever shape your sense of self takes tonight, it is welcome here, exactly as it is. You don't need to understand this fully, just let it wash over you. David Hume, an old philosopher, suggested there is no fixed self hiding inside you. Instead, what you call you is more like a bundle of perceptions, thoughts, feelings, sensations, flowing one after another through time. One moment, there's a memory of coffee this morning. The next, a worry about tomorrow. The next, the soft pressure of sheets against your skin. These perceptions come and go like leaves on a stream. There is no solid core you have to defend or perfect. Tonight, you can let some of those perceptions go. You don't have to hold every thought, every image, every fragment. Just notice them floating by, and let the ones that feel heavy drift downstream. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Yourself can loosen its grip, becoming lighter with each breath. Here's a quiet paradox about identity. Your body is constantly changing. Every few years, nearly every cell has been replaced with a new one. Your skin, your blood, your bones, they renew themselves while you sleep, eat, live. And yet, you feel like the same person, a continuous thread through all that turnover. That sense of continuity doesn't need your proof or analysis. It simply holds you, night after night, through every quiet replacement. As you drift towards sleep now, you can trust that same thread. Whatever dreams or blank spaces come, the you that wakes up tomorrow will still feel familiar. You don't need to understand this fully. Just let the paradox become a soft reassurance. Change happens beneath the surface, but you remain held together, safe in the dark. John Locke thought memory was the key to personal identity. Your sense of self stretches across time through the chain of memories. What you did yesterday links to who you were last week. For a restless mind, memories can replay endlessly, demanding review. Did I say the right thing? Did I handle that moment well? But tonight, you can rest from remembering. You don't have to trace every link in the chain. You don't have to rebuild yourself from yesterday's highlights or low points. Memories will still be there when the sun rises. For now, let the chain relax, uncoil, rest alongside you. You don't need to understand this fully. Just imagine your memories as books on a shelf, closed for the night. Sleep doesn't erase them, it simply gives them a break. In Eastern philosophy, many traditions see the ego, the story of me, myself, and mine, as a kind of illusion. It's a useful story for getting through the day, but not the deepest truth. Clinging too tightly to that story creates tension, separation, struggle. Releasing it, even for a few hours, brings a natural peace. Sleep offers that release every night. As your awareness softens, the edges of you blur gently into something larger, quieter. You're not losing yourself, you're stepping beyond the narrow frame for a while. No effort required. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Tonight, let your sense of self soften like mist dissolving into morning air. Soren Kierkegaard wrote that life can only be understood backwards, but must be lived forwards. You trace patterns and meaning by looking back, but you walk forward into fog. Sleep sits in that pause between. A nightly reset where understanding steps aside, and living simply breathes. You don't have to figure out your life's arc tonight. You don't have to connect every dot from past to future. Let sleep be the gracious pause, the deep breath between backward glances and forward steps. Tomorrow's path will reveal itself when it's time. You don't need to understand this fully, just settle into the pause, where life flows without explanation. Resting now is living forwards, one quiet breath at a time. Buddhism teaches anatta, or no self, a doctrine saying there's no permanent, unchanging I to cling to. What feels solid is a flow of experiences, habits, momentary states. Clinging to a fixed identity creates suffering, like gripping sand until it cuts your hand. Loosening that grip brings relief. As sleep approaches, your sense of self can soften naturally. Know you needs to stay vigilant or in control. Let thoughts of duty, image, achievement fade like echoes in an empty room. What remains is simple awareness, held without effort. You don't need to understand this fully, just allow your self-sense to soften, like wax under a warm flame. In that softening, there is peace. Johann Fichte believed the self creates itself through action, reaching out, choosing, shaping the world around it. Every decision, every step, builds that acts. But sometimes, the truest creation comes through non-action. Resting, waiting, allowing space for new energy to form. Tonight, lying still is its own act of self-creation. You're giving your mind and body the raw material they need: quiet, recovery, perspective. Non-action doesn't mean nothing happens. Deep inside, restoration builds the stronger self for tomorrow. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. By resting now, you create the space where your best actions can later arise. Maurice Merleau-Ponty placed the body at the center of identity. You are not a mind trapped inside meat. You are an embodied being, woven from flesh, movement, sensation. Your identity lives in the way your shoulders carry tension, the rhythm of your breath, the weight of your limbs against the bed. Right now, your body knows what it needs, even if your mind debates it. Honor that embodied self with gentle rest. Let your muscles unclench, one by one. Feel gravity doing its work, pulling you deeper into support. You don't have to think your way to relaxation. Your body remembers how. You don't need to understand this fully. Just notice the body breathing, being, resting as one whole. It has carried you this far, now carry it gently into sleep. Walt Whitman famously wrote, "I contain multitudes." You are not one simple thing, you hold contradictions, depths, countless inner voices and histories. One part of you plans and worries. Another remembers joy from years ago. Another simply wants quiet. You are vast and complex, a living universe. And yet, tonight, all those multitudes can be simply still. You don't have to organize or reconcile every part. You don't have to give every voice equal time. Let the multitudes settle, like silt in a riverbed, creating clear water above. Stillness holds them all without effort. You don't need to understand this fully. Just imagine your inner vastness folding softly into rest. Multitudes don't need to march tonight. They can drift together towards sleep. Finally, the question "Who am I?" echoes through philosophy, unanswered and unanswerable. Every thinker offers a piece, but the full picture stays mysterious. Maybe you're a flow of perceptions. Maybe a bundle of memories. Maybe a body breathing in the dark. The question may never be fully settled, and that's okay. Mystery doesn't demand solving, it invites living. You can rest in that mystery tonight. No final exam awaits. No verdict on your completeness. Simply notice, there is awareness here, asking the question. That awareness is enough. You don't need to understand this fully. Just let "Who am I?" become a soft lullaby instead of a riddle. Resting inside mystery is its own kind of answer. You've now wandered through layers of self and identity, bundles of perception, chains of memory, embodied being, unanswered questions. Each idea offered a small invitation to loosen, to soften, to trust the flow. No answers were required. No definitions demanded. As your mind holds these gentle shapes, or lets them slip away, permission remains. Sleep whenever it calls. Your sense of self will greet you fresh in morning light. Breathe easily. Let gravity hold you. The journey through self makes rest feel like home. Let the gentle current of these words carry you forward now, from self into the quiet mysteries of mind and consciousness. Settle deeper into the surface beneath you, feeling its steady support. Your awareness, whatever its nature, is safe here, invited only to soften, not to solve. You don't need to understand this fully, just let it wash over you. Philosophers call it the hard problem of consciousness. Why do we have subjective experience at all? Why does the world not just happen mechanically, but feel like something from inside? No one has a complete answer. Physical processes in the brain correlate with thoughts and sensations, but why those become vivid, personal experience remains a deep puzzle. The mystery doesn't need cracking tonight. Your consciousness, rich with color, memory, quiet wonder, simply deserves peace. Let that inner light dim gently, like a candle in a draft-free room. No explanation required. Just rest for the awareness that makes every moment yours. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Thomas Nagel once asked, in his essay "What is it like to be a bat?" what is it like to experience the world as a bat does? Echolocation, hanging upside down, the rush of night air through sensitive wings. Could any of us truly know that inner reality? The point lingers. Every consciousness has its private, subjective world, inaccessible from the outside. Yours includes the texture of this bed, the hum of distant sounds, the subtle fade of focus. Tonight, you don't need to imagine other minds or chase their secrets. You only need to know what it's like to rest, what this particular awareness feels like as it eases into stillness. You don't need to understand this fully, just savor the privilege of your own inner world, softening now. What it's like to be you, here, is enough. In philosophy, zombies are imagined beings that act human but lack any inner experience, no feelings, no thoughts, just mechanical responses. They walk, talk, smile, but nothing lights up from within. Gratefully, you are not a zombie. You have a rich inner life, dreams that flicker, worries that tug, joys that warm unexpectedly. That inner richness has served you well through the day. Now, it needs sleep, a deep, restorative pause. No test of awareness required. Your consciousness, alive and vivid, can afford to quiet down. You don't need to understand this fully. Just appreciate the gift of feeling truly present, then let it rest. Zombies never sleep, you get to. Panpsychism, an ancient idea revived in modern thought, suggests consciousness might be everywhere, at the root of reality, in particles, in stars, in the fabric of things. Not just in brains, but fundamental, like mass or charge. If true, you're not alone in the universe's awareness. A quiet companionship hums through all things, connecting your mind to the vastness. No proof needed tonight. The idea alone can feel soothing. Your thoughts join a larger stream, not isolated but woven in. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Consciousness everywhere means nowhere is truly empty. Drift into that shared quiet. Dualists like Descartes saw mind and body as separate substances, thinking stuff and physical stuff, somehow interacting. Monists counter that they're one. Mind emerges from body, or body from mind, no divide. Generations argue the point, with no knockdown winner. Either way, both your mind and body need rest tonight. The whirl of thoughts meets the heaviness of limbs. Let them meet in truce, sinking into slow breaths, relaxed muscles. You don't need to pick a side in the debate. Just honor the whole, whatever its unity or split, with gentle care. You don't need to understand this fully. Just feel mind and body aligning towards sleep, as one. Epiphenomenalism pictures consciousness as a byproduct, like steam from an engine, accompanying the real work but causing no change. Thoughts and feelings arise, but don't steer the ship. Yet here you are, listening, breathing with intention. Your decision to rest matters. It shapes this moment, invites tomorrow's energy. Byproduct or not, your awareness influences the quiet choice to unwind. Steam rises, the engine slows. No need to settle the theory. Simply act on the felt truth. Rest now builds a better you. You don't need to understand this fully. Just let your inner steam rise softly, easing the machinery down. The Turing test checks if machines can mimic human intelligence convincingly. Pass it, and we might call the machine thinking. But your sleepy mind needs no such test tonight. No judges, no benchmarks, no performance required. Wander, fragment, slow, it's all valid. Your consciousness proves itself in simply being, feeling, fading naturally. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Machines might imitate, you authentically rest. David Chalmers separated the easy problems of consciousness, like how brains process vision or memory, from the hard one, why experience itself. Explaining functions is tractable, explaining the inner glow is not. Sleeping, though? Beautifully easy. No puzzle, just surrender. Let mechanisms hum in the background, heart beating, lungs filling, while awareness steps back. Easy problems solve themselves nightly. You don't need to understand this fully. Just embrace sleep as the simplest gift to your complex mind. Daniel Dennett views consciousness not as a single glowing center, but multiple drafts, processes overlapping, editing, creating the illusion of unity. No central theater, just a busy workshop of mind. Tonight, let those processes wind down. Drafts fade unfinished, the workshop quiets. No need for a flawless final version. Fragments suffice for rest. You don't need to understand this fully. Just imagine your mind's workshop slowing, tools set aside, lights dimming one by one. Benjamin Libet's experiments showed the brain preparing actions, like a finger twitch, a split second before you consciously decide. Readiness potential first, then awareness of choice. So perhaps you don't initiate as freely as it feels. Yet here, your body's wisdom guides perfectly towards sleep. Muscles already heavy, breath already slowing, trust that unconscious lead. The brain knows the path, awareness can follow. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Let biology's quiet genius carry you the rest of the way. You don't need to understand this fully, just follow the body's gentle pull into deeper peace. You've now floated through mind and consciousness, hard problems, subjective worlds, hidden processes, trusting mechanisms. Each mystery invited ease, not effort. No zombies here, no tests, just your living awareness softening into night. Permission lingers, Drift off mid-breath if it calls. Breathe steadily. Feel the pull downward. Mind rests deepest when questions dissolve into calm. Let the whispers of mind and consciousness fade gently now, making space for the quiet terrain of knowledge and truth. Feel your breath deepen naturally, each exhale releasing a little more of the day's mental weight. Whatever you know, or don't know, holds no demand here, only soft permission to unwind. You don't need to understand this fully, just let it wash over you. Socrates, the great questioner, famously said, "I know that I know nothing." He turned endless inquiry into the highest wisdom, intellectual humility. For a mind that spins through certainties and doubts, this can feel like freedom. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to defend every position or solve every riddle. Tonight, not knowing becomes peace. Let go of the need to be right, to be sure, to grasp. Wisdom lies in this gentle admission: mystery is okay. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Plato told the allegory of the cave, prisoners chained inside, seeing only shadows cast by firelight on the wall. They mistake flickering shapes for the full reality, puppets, fire, distant objects all reduced to dance of light. We might be like that, perceiving only shadows of the true world. But shadows are gentle things, soft-edged, ever-shifting, without sharp insistence. Tonight, let your thoughts be shadows on the wall, faint, harmless, dissolving as the fire dims. No need to escape the cave or chase the sun. Shadows soothe as they fade. You don't need to understand this fully, just watch your mind's shadows soften into night. Epistemology, the study of knowledge, keeps asking, what can we really know? How do we separate belief from truth? Sense from illusion? Such questions fuel lifetimes of debate. Tonight, though, one simple knowing suffices: you are safe here, resting. Feel that certainty in your body, the bed's support, the room's enclosure, the steady pulse beneath it all. This is knowledge enough. No further proof required. You don't need to understand this fully, just rest in the one truth your body already affirms. Skeptics like Pyrrho took doubt to its gentle extreme, suspend judgment on everything. No firm yes, no firm no, just poised tranquility amid uncertainty. Apply that now to your day, the conversations, choices, moments that linger. Suspend judgment on what went right or wrong. Let them hover, unweighed, unreviewed. No scorecard needed at this hour. Pyrrho found peace in the suspension, so can you. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Unjudged, your day rests too. Descartes practiced methodological doubt, question every assumption until only the indubitable remains. He stripped away senses, dreams, even evil demons of deception, down to I think, therefore I am. You can borrow that stripping away tonight. Peel off today's thoughts, worries, replays, like layers of an onion, until quiet core appears. No demon deceives your need for rest. No assumption undermines this simple release. You don't need to understand this fully, just let doubt dissolve the unnecessary, leaving space for sleep. Immanuel Kant argued we can never know the thing in itself, reality as it truly is. We grasp only phenomena, perceptions shaped by our minds, senses, categories. Your world is filtered, constructed, and perceptions can soften, blur, melt into dreams. Tonight, let that filtering ease further. Edges of thoughts lose sharpness, colors mute, forms dissolve. No need for unfiltered truth. You don't need to understand this fully. Just allow perceptions to blur like twilight into dreamscape. Pragmatists like William James measured truth by usefulness. Does it work? Does it enrich life? A belief proves real through consequences, practical fruits. Right now, the useful truth is this: rest heals. It sharpens tomorrow's focus, mends today's frayed edges, renews what thinking depletes. Test it empirically, breathe slower, sink deeper, feel the quiet benefits unfold. Pragmatism approves. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Useful truth invites you to prove it now, in stillness. Coherence theory sees truth as internal harmony, a web of beliefs fitting neatly together, no loose ends. Like a puzzle where every piece supports the whole. Let your inner world seek that consistency tonight. Calm breath matching calm mind, body easing as thoughts quiet. No contradictions in rest, only unified peace. You don't need to understand this fully. Just feel you're being coherent to gentle, seamless calm. Correspondence theory ties truth to reality. A statement rings true when it matches the world as it is. Blue is true if the sky shows blue, pain true if felt. And the reality right now? You're lying down, breathing steadily, ready for sleep. That's the plain correspondence, no argument, no evasion. Align with that fact. Let mind meet body in the simple truth of this position, this moment. You don't need to understand this fully. Just correspond to reality's quiet invitation, rest. Ludwig Wittgenstein closed his great work with, "Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent." Some depths defy words, pass them over in quiet. Let silence hold you now. No more facts, no more questions, just the wordless expanse where sleep waits. Philosophy boasts a silence here. Words fade, being remains. You don't need to understand this fully. Just pass into the silence that philosophy honors. You've traversed knowledge and truth now, shadows and suspensions, filtered perceptions, useful silences. Each invited release from knowing's grip. No certainties demanded, no wisdom tested. Simply a path of humbler, softer inquiry leading here. Breathe without effort. Let surfaces yield further. Truth tonight is the peace found in not nowing. Let the quiet echoes of knowledge and truth settle now, opening the way to ethics and meaning, gentle guides for how to live well, even in rest. Feel your body grow heavier, more rooted, as breath flows without force. Meaning emerges not in striving, but in this soft permission to be. You don't need to understand this fully, just let it wash over you. Aristotle taught that true flourishing, or eudaimonia, arises from living virtuously, balancing reason, courage, and care in daily habits. Rest is no idle escape, it is virtuous self-care, the foundation for tomorrow's strength and wisdom. A mind sharpened by sleep judges better, acts kinder, creates more fully. Virtue honors the whole self, body included. Tonight, lying here becomes an act of balance, a quiet excellence. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative urges, act only according to rules equal as universal law for everyone. Imagine everyone resting peacefully tonight, no frantic emails, no forced wakefulness, just collective release into calm. Your choice joins that vision. One person's rest ripples outward, modeling peace for a weary world. Universal law favors this gentleness now. Breathe as if the whole of humanity exhales with you. You don't need to understand this fully, just align with the ethic of shared, universal rest. Utilitarians like Bentham and Mill seek the greatest good for the greatest number, pleasure over pain, happiness maximized. Your well-being tonight multiplies that good. A rested you offers more patience, clarity, and kindness tomorrow. One night's sleep prevents ripples of exhaustion, snappish words, dimmed creativity, depleted empathy. The math favors rest. Calculate simply, deeper breaths, looser limbs, brighter dawn. Greatest good begins here, in this bed. You don't need to understand this fully. Just trust that your peace contributes to a gentler world. Virtue ethics shifts focus from rigid rules to character, who you become through repeated choices. Cultivating restfulness builds patience, resilience, a steady inner calm that endures. No commandments broken in closing your eyes. Instead, a habit of self-honoring, strengthening the best within. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Restful character emerges from nights like this one. Friedrich Nietzsche rejected borrowed values, urging you to create your own in a world without divine script. The culture screams hustle, produce, achieve, but you can choose differently. Value rest as fiercely as any triumph. Value recovery as your defiant yes to life. Your will affirms this, stillness is strength, pause is power. Create that value now, against the noise. You don't need to understand this fully, just will rest into being your chosen virtue. Albert Camus depicted Sisyphus eternally rolling a boulder uphill, only for it to tumble back, absurd, repetitive toil without end. Yet we must imagine Sisyphus happy, embracing the task on his terms. Your days may feel like that, cycles of effort, rollback, repeat. Still, peace lies in the descent, the pause at the bottom. Find Camus happiness here, no boulder tonight, just the relief of letting gravity take over. Absurdity smiles in surrender. You don't need to understand this fully, just imagine your own quiet happiness in rest's simple role. Viktor Frankl's logotherapy, born from concentration camp survival, teaches that meaning arises from your attitude towards suffering. Pain visits uninvited, but response remains yours, defiance, love, or restful acceptance. Choose restfulness now as your attitude. It transforms exhaustion into renewal, weaving purpose through pause. Meaning doesn't demand constant motion. It blooms in how you meet this moment. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Emmanuel Levinas placed ethics in the face of the other, infinite responsibility sparked by another's gaze. Yet you cannot pour from an empty vessel. Self-care enables care for others. Rest honors that chain. Renewed self sustains the outward call. No selfishness in boundaries, only ethical necessity. Tonight, receive as you give, gentle holding for the self that serves. You don't need to understand this fully. Just let rest fuel your humanity. Confucius centered ethics on Ren, or humaneness, compassion flowing outward from self-compassion. Be humane to your tired mind and body as you would to a weary friend. No stern duty demands wakefulness here. Ren whispers kindness to the exhausted. Extend that benevolence inward, soft words, patient breath, allowing ease. Humaneness cradles you now. You don't need to understand this fully. Just practice Ren toward yourself, in stillness. Stoics like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius mastered one lesson. Control only what lies in your power, opinions, desires, actions. Sleep posture, breath rhythm, the choice to let go, these are yours to command. External noise, tomorrow's demands, past regrets, beyond reach. Focus inward, adjust, release, sink. Dichotomy of control simplifies all. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. You don't need to understand this fully. Just wield your power toward perfect, stoic rest. You've journeyed now through ethics and meaning, virtues cultivated, values chosen, attitudes embraced amid life's absurdities. Each offered not burdens, but invitations to gentler living. No moral tests passed or failed. Only quiet ways to flourish in this breath, this pause. Let limbs melt further. Permission deepens, sleep claims what it will. Meaning rests in the care you've allowed yourself tonight. Let the ethical threads of meaning weave softly now into paradoxes and limits, places where logic bends, questions circle, and rest reveals its quiet wisdom. Feel your awareness thinning further, like fog lifting from a still lake. No need to resolve these tangles, they invite release into what simply is. You don't need to understand this fully, just let it wash over you. Bertrand Russell uncovered a paradox in set theory. Consider the set of all sets that do not contain themselves. Does it contain itself? Either answer leads to contradiction. Some questions shatter clean frameworks, no tidy resolution possible. That's strangely freeing for a restless mind. Not every puzzle demands solving. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Let unresolvable riddles be, they don't own this night. Kurt Gödel's incompleteness theorems prove that any sufficiently powerful formal system cannot prove all truths within itself. Some statements remain unprovable. Mathematics, the queen of logic, hits its own ceiling. You don't need all answers tonight. No grand proof of worthiness, no airtight plan for tomorrow. Unprovable gaps exist everywhere, in life, in mind, in this moment. They coexist with peace. You don't need to understand this fully, just embrace the beauty of necessary unknowns, softening into sleep. The liar's paradox twists simple words. This statement is false. If true, it's false. If false, it's true. Endless loop, no exit. Your thoughts might spin similar circles tonight. Worries chasing tails, doubts feeding doubts. But you can step outside the loop into rest. No paradox traps the body breathing steadily here. Words ensnare, silence frees. You don't need to understand this fully. Just notice the mind's loops and choose the door marked out. Zeno's ancient puzzle, Achilles races a tortoise with a head start. By logic, he never catches up, having infinite distances forever. Yet in reality, he passes effortlessly. Logic stumbles where lived experience strides forward. Trust that over abstract division tonight. Your path to sleep needs no mathematical proof. It happens, simply. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Lived rest outruns every paradox. The Sorites paradox, or heat problem, erodes boundaries. One grain is in a heap, add more, still not. When does it become one? Vague edges defy sharp lines. When does waking become sleep? Let that threshold blur naturally, no need to pinpoint. Thoughts thin gradually, awareness fades by degrees. Heap or not, rest arrives. You don't need to understand this fully. Just allow the Sorites shift from alert to dream, grain by gentle grain. Buridan's ass imagines a donkey perfectly equidistant from two haystacks, unable to choose, starving amid plenty. Perfect balance paralyzes. But you can choose rest without flawless reasons. No scales needed, no better option to weigh. Break the symmetry, exhale, sink, allow. Plenty awaits beyond indecision. You don't need to understand this fully. Just pick rest, arbitrarily if needed, and move toward it now. The grandfather paradox taunts time travel. Kill your grandfather before your parent is born, and you never exist to time travel. Causality knots itself. But tonight holds only present moment, no loops, no revisions, no tangled timelines. Here is now, unchangeable, sufficient. Past undone? Future unwritten? Irrelevant. Presence breathes. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Paradox is time travel. You rest in the eternal now. Newcomb's problem pits two boxes, one transparent with cash, one opaque possibly packed by a perfect predictor knowing your choice. Take both or just the mystery box. Prediction challenges free will. Luckily, sleep requires no such riddle. No predictors, no gambles, just the open invitation to close eyes. Choose simply, without cosmic stakes. You don't need to understand this fully. Just bypass the boxes for bed's sure yield. The trolley problem hurdles. Divert a runaway trolley to kill one instead of five? Ethical intuitions clash across cultures, no consensus. But tonight, no dilemma races toward you. No switches to pull, no lives to weigh. Only permission to rest, pure, uncomplicated. Moral machinery pauses. You don't need to understand this fully. Just step off the tracks into neutral, waiting peace. The unexpected hanging paradox. A judge sentences a prisoner to hang on a surprise weekday, not foreseeable. Logic unravels as the prisoner eliminates days impossibly. Some things defy full rationalization, like the gift of sleep itself. It arrives unannounced, beyond prediction or proof. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Let the paradox hang, receive sleep's surprise. You've danced now through paradoxes and limits, loops broken, boundaries blurred, choices simplified amid logic's delightful failures. Each tangle taught gentle escape, not conquest. No resolutions chased or claimed. Just invitations to trust experience over endless why. Breathe into yielding. Drift claims its due. Limits met, rest unfolds without end. Let the playful tangles of paradoxes dissolve now into the serene realms of beauty and aesthetics, where thought yields to feeling, and rest reveals its inherent grace. Notice how your breath already carries a quiet rhythm, like a melody needing no composer. Beauty needs no justification, it simply invites you to receive. You don't need to understand this fully, just let it wash over you. Immanuel Kant described beauty as purposiveness without purpose, something that appears perfectly designed yet serves no practical end. A flower unfolds not for utility, but for its own radiant being. Sleep mirrors this, no agenda, no product, yet it feels profoundly right, completing you ineffably. Tonight, your drift toward rest becomes its own beautiful form, complete, sufficient, whole. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. The sublime, as philosophers named it, overwhelms with vastness, towering mountains, endless starfields, or the ocean of your own mind finally settling into stillness. It stirs awe beyond beauty's gentle pleasure, humbling the self before immensity. Let that vastness cradle you now, the Milky Way above, the inner expanse quieting. Sublime peace, not terror, your smallness held safely within the infinite. You don't need to understand this fully, just feel the sublime pull of rest, vast and welcoming. Arthur Schopenhauer viewed art as escape from the ceaseless striving of will and suffering, a temporary liberation into pure contemplation. Imagination at rest becomes its own gentle art form, painting dreams without effort. Your mind, loosening its grip, creates that canvas tonight. No striving required, pure beholding of the quiet unfolding within. You don't need to understand this fully, just let imagination drift as Schopenhauer's quiet masterpiece. Aesthetic experience, many thinkers noted, pulls us out of time's arrow, suspended in the eternal now of pure perception. A painting holds you, music stops the clock. Drifting towards sleep shares that timeless quality, no past regrets, no future pulls, just this suspended breath. Timelessness breathes through you. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Aesthetic rest, eternal in its simplicity. David Hume located beauty not in objects, but in the perceiver's sentiment, a feeling arising within. Your rest can be perceived as beautiful, sacred even, if you allow that sentiment to bloom. See this moment through aesthetic eyes, the soft play of shadow on ceiling, breath's subtle cadence, limbs perfect repose. Beauty awaits you, our quiet gaze. You don't need to understand this fully, just perceive rest as the loveliest thing tonight. Friedrich Nietzsche proclaimed that art alone makes life bearable, affirming existence amid chaos. Rest becomes the canvas on which tomorrow's life paints itself anew, blank, receptive, full of possibility. Without this pause, colors muddy, lines blur into fatigue. With it, fresh strokes await dawn. You don't need to understand this fully, just offer rest as Nietzsche's vital canvas, ready for living art. The golden ratio, phi, weaves through nature's designs, spirals of shells, galaxy arms, sunflowers, harmonious proportion beyond chance. Your breath seeks that natural rhythm too, inhale not too short, exhale not too long, golden mean in motion. No force needed, harmony emerges. Let respiration spiral into perfect, effortless balance. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Golden rest, proportioned divinely. Japanese wabi-sabi celebrates beauty in imperfection, transience, asymmetry, the cracked teacup more precious than flawless porcelain. Your imperfect day, imperfect sleep attempts, imperfect thoughts, all wabi-sabi treasures. No polish required. The irregular path to slumber holds deepest charm. You don't need to understand this fully, just embrace your wabi-sabi rest, imperfectly perfect. Plotinus envisioned beauty as emanation from the One, divine overflow cascading into forms, drawing souls upward. You, resting, emanate quiet beauty into the world, peaceful energy rippling outward unseen. No striving to shine, simply be the conduit. Your stillness radiates. You don't need to understand this fully, just let rest flow as Plotinus' luminous gift. Aesthetic contemplation demands no action, no judgment, no striving, pure, receptive presence. Simply be here, breathing, drifting, at peace. The ultimate aesthetic act, total surrender to the moment's form. Nothing to do, everything to feel. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Contemplation complete. You've glided now through beauty and aesthetics, purposeless perfection, sublime vastness, imperfect harmony, radiant stillness. Each invited pure feeling over analysis, perception over proof. No critiques offered, only appreciation deepened. Beauty met in rest's quiet gallery. Exhale fully. Yield complet, illy. Aesthetic peace envelopes all. Let beauty's gentle glow fade into the subtle play of language and thought, words that shape worlds, yet yield to silence's deeper call. Sense your mind's chatter softening, words losing their edges as breath takes center stage. Language serves, rest transcends. You don't need to understand this fully, just let it wash over you. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis proposes that language shapes thought, speakers of different tongues perceive reality differently. Snow's nuances for Inuit, time's flow for Hopi. But silence shapes rest profoundly. No words needed to feel limbs heavy, breath even. Wordless perception reigns. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Ludwig Wittgenstein described language games. Meaning emerges from use in life's contexts, not fixed dictionary ties. Rest shifts, medical pause, musical break, now you're letting go. Right now, rest means exactly this, exhaling tension, trusting gravity, allowing drift. Play that game, define it so. You don't need to understand this fully, just use rest to invoke its power here. Jacques Derrida's deconstruction unveils language's instability, texts slip meanings, binaries collapse. Thoughts, too, dissolve as you drift, firm ideas blur, oppositions merge. No stable self to defend, no solid worry to grip. Deconstruction serves sleep. You don't need to understand this fully, just watch thoughts deconstruct into dream's fluid stream. Noam Chomsky posited universal grammar, an innate structure wiring all human languages. Perhaps a universal longing for peace wires us too, cross-cultural, timeless pull towards stillness. Your body knows this grammar, slow breath, closed eyes, innate syntax of surrender. Universal rest speaks through you. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. J.L. Austin's speech acts reveal words perform, promising binds, declaring frees. Say inwardly, I am resting, and it enacts, muscles yield, mind quiets. Words do this moment. Utter the act, become it. You don't need to understand this fully, just let resting perform its gentle magic now. Michel Foucault traced language to power structures, discourses control, normalize, discipline. Reclaim power by naming this time yours, my rest, my peace, my night. No outer force dictates wakefulness here. Sovereign silence asserts itself. You don't need to understand this fully, just declare softly, this rest belongs to me. Martin Heidegger called language the house of being, dwelling place where existence unfolds. Silence forms the foundation beneath that house, ground zero of presence. Words build atop, quiet holds all. Return to foundation now. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Silent house welcomes you home. John Searle's Chinese room thought experiment questions true understanding, manipulates symbols flawlessly without grasping meaning, like a non-Chinese speaker following rules. But your body understands rest without explanation, no rules, just innate knowing. Limbs comprehend heaviness, breath senses rhythm. Embodied wisdom bypasses debate. You don't need to understand this fully, just trust the body's silent comprehension. Saul Kripke's naming theory rigidifies reference, sleep points fixedly to that state, gentle surrender, eyes closing, awareness dimming. No fuzzy synonyms, direct link. Tonight, sleep names exactly this unfolding. Call it, enter it. You don't need to understand this fully, just let the name summon its reality softly. Richard Rorty viewed language as tool, not truth's mirror, pragmatic ladder for getting along, not cosmic depiction. Use it to guide yourself toward dreams, softening, drifting, sleeping. Words as gentle escorts, not captors. Deploy them for the path ahead. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. You've navigated now language and thought, shaping silences, performative namings, power reclaimed in quiet. Words yielded their service, silence claimed its throne. No vocabularies mastered, only their gentle release. Thought's house stands empty, ready for dreams. Breathe wordlessly. Surrender completely. Language rest. Pure being emerges. Let these final reflections gather softly now, like the last pages of a book turning toward its quiet close, wisdom distilled not in answers, but in the peace of release. Feel your entire being soften further, every muscle, every thought, settling as one. You've journeyed far through philosophy's gentle landscape, now arrive home in stillness. You don't need to understand this fully, just let it wash over you, for the very last time. Philosophy literally means love of wisdom, philos, love, Sophia, wisdom. And wisdom tonight includes knowing precisely when to stop thinking, when to trade inquiry for surrender. No sage ever praised relentless cognition at 3 a.m. True love of wisdom honors the mind's need for pause, for renewal. Let that love guide you now. Thinking served its purpose, rest claims its due. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Socrates declared the unexamined life not worth living, urging constant questioning, self-scrutiny. Yet the over-examined night steals sleep, turning wisdom's tool into torment. Balance restores both, examined by day, released by night. You've examined enough, now live the balance. You don't need to understand this fully, just tip gently toward rest's wise equilibrium. Philosophers disagree fiercely on nearly everything: reality, self, God, morality, truth itself. Endless schools, refutations, paradigm shifts. Yet one quiet consensus emerges: rest restores the mind for deeper inquiry. Even rivals agree, sleep sharpens reason, clears delusion, births insight. Tonight, unite them all in this shared truth. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Socratic dialogue thrives on two voices, questioner and respondent, tension sparking clarity. But tonight, your inner voices need not debate, they can harmonize into quiet unison. No opposition required. Let critic and defended self, doubter and believer, merge in breath's single rhythm. You don't need to understand this fully, just hear your inner chorus soften to hum, then hush. George Hegel described history's dialectic: thesis meets antithesis, yielding synthesis, a spiral toward absolute spirit. Your synthesis tonight is simply rest. Days of tension, nights of release, progress through pause. No higher contradiction to resolve, this resolves all. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought, rest lives beyond those limits. Dialectic complete, stillness. Baruch Spinoza saw God or nature as one substance, infinite attributes, everything unfolding in necessary order. You're part of that order, resting as naturally as night follows day, tides ebb, seasons turn. No rebellion against nature's rhythm. Your drowsiness is divine necessity, cosmos breathing through you. You don't need to understand this fully, Just flow with Spinoza's eternal, ordered peace. Epicurus taught plainly, death is nothing to us. When we arrive, sensation ends. While sensation lasts, death waits elsewhere. Worry, too, dissolves when sleep arrives. No future to fear in dreamless dark. Neither death nor sleeplessness holds power here. Epicurean calm, sensation fades gently now. You don't need to understand this fully. Just let Epicurus' freedom from fear cradle your drift. The Tao Te Ching opens. The way that can be spoken is not the eternal way. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. All words miss the flowing source, ineffable, beyond grasp. Let sleep be that wordless way. No concepts cling, pure Tao carries you. Philosophy shows us the limits of thought. Rest lives beyond those limits. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations in camp at night, amid war's chaos, reminders to control only his responses, to accept nature's course. You, too, can meditate by releasing thought into stillness, no journal needed, just presence. Imperial Stoic found peace thus. Your meditation, exhale, yield, be. You don't need to understand this fully, just meditate as Aurelius did, in night's quiet sovereignty. Every great philosophy, at its deepest current, points toward peace, not as distant utopia, but as attainable state. Stoic calm, Epicurean tranquility, Spinoza's necessity, Taoist flow, all converge here. Tonight, peace is not concept but felt presence, the bed's embrace, breath's assurance, body's wise heaviness. Philosophy fulfilled. You don't need to understand this fully, just rest in peace as living reality, now. You've journeyed through existence, time, self, mind, knowledge, ethics, paradoxes, beauty, language, 99 reflections, each a gentle companion. The 100th whispers, all paths lead here. No answers demanded, no wisdom proven. Simply presence held, questions befriended, thought released. Permission absolute, sleep without solving, dream without grasping, wake refreshed in mystery's light. You've walked philosophy's soft night, now rest in the great question mark of being, peace made flesh, breath by breath. Breathe once more, deeply. And let go. Good night.